Alright, we should be moving. I'm still hammering out the details in just a few things, but give me half a second and we will be good to go. Oh. If you want, that's fine. Thank you. If anyone's here, I cannot see the chat just yet. I'm still fidgeting with stuff.
You're printing things?
Printing one thing, trying to look at another. What day is today? Today is the 18th. Sorry y'all, we're having a little party later today and I got distracted putting all of that together. And also typing up my notes for today. Good lord.
I noticed they're long.
There's so much going on.
Lots to talk about today, though.
Yeah. Cheat. Oh, showing up on the screen. Let's see where we're at. Let me make sure it's showing. Yep. Okay, it's very small. It's also not at the right angle again.
What's up?
Oh, I'm at the wrong angle.
Oh, no, don't worry about it.
No, don't worry about it. Chiron was my last owner. That seems appropriate, honestly.
And I will need this.
Yeah.
This camera was giving me absolute hell this morning, so I did not realize it had
You're all good.
rotated again.
No one's even here yet, so. Even if they were, they probably folks that we already know and like, and if they weren't, hell with them.
I'm gonna zoom back in so I can see.
Bueno.
Yeah,
That's fine. That's fine. I can make that work. Still at that nice little jaunty angle, as it were, but that's no big deal. Hey, Doge. See? I told you it'd be someone who didn't care if we were struggling.
One day we will go live without struggling.
And that'll probably be our last stream ever. Oh no! Oh no! I don't know how much of that showed up, but we have pet buttons for the cat to talk to us. And a friend with a little girl came over, and the girl loved Toulouse to pieces. Random keyboard jump scare, yeah. So she found his buttons and found the blank ones and recorded one, and she's just saying in Spanish, "Hello Toulouse, where did you go? Where were you?" And so she moved away recently, so I'm like, I'm just gonna keep that one there for a while, it's too sweet. And no keyboard jump scare, yep. Alright, let's see what we got here. We've got all of these are shrines. Yep, earth to earth. We have all of these are sextiles. All of these are sextiles. We have one opposition. Hang on. No. This isn't a sextile. This is a sextile. Alright, now it's my quiz time. This is still a square. And a square. Yeah. Look at me go. I'm learning how to read them. Okay. So good morning, good afternoon. It's afternoon for you. How's your day been? What's going on? How's my Sunday looking? Since you've already experienced so much of it. Anything good? Just woke up, honestly. Great. Love that. We went Sunday together. Let me go get a jacket. 1 second. Up until 4 a.m. trying to write something. I wish I had that kind of impulsion still. I need to get that back. I had it for a while there. I've written like the whole like first draft of a book, and I need to get back into it. But when I first started writing it, Briar had given me an outline, and I was up until like 2:30 that night writing out like the first third of it. It's torture, but it was also like just made me feel alive. I don't know, it was neat. I liked the feeling. You ever doing anything specific with the stuff that you write? Because I know you're constantly writing. So like I know about the D&D, and I know that you have written lengthy pieces, but what's the end game with those? Ended up not being exactly how I wanted it to, but it is interesting to see how yeah, it is really neat to look at things. I don't know, I like looking at what I've done, if it's stuff that I've done for years, and go, oh, I might not have written, or I might not have drawn it that way the last time, or years and years ago. So, I always think that's kind of cool. I'll give it another couple minutes before I start getting into stars like usual, because it's just you and me, and that's fine. But just in case anybody else comes in. So I've got the chart. This is where I'm at on my little opening piece. That's where we left it last time, because my goal was to finish that fairy last week. It's weird because when I see things I wrote when I was in university, it's better. Yeah, that's something that, yeah, I took a creative writing class in university, and I loved it, and it was great to like help me think of things, like help keep me in practice, not think of things. But I don't know, I was, 21 when I took it, and like, yeah, sure, I'd been through a lot, but I'm just like thinking about my life experiences then versus my life experiences now, and I was so fixated on like cringe, but I was so fixated on having gotten dumped by my first girlfriend that like thinly veiled allusions to that was really all I could write about. And like the writing itself was good, and it was interesting in a slice of life kind of way, I guess, but it's just, there was nothing else to it. I don't know. I've been writing in like 5+ years, and that's one of my books. Yeah, I feel that. Cheers, I'll drink to that. What is it? I don't know. I try to look at it less as, I've lost the ability though, and more, the faucet's rusted over. You've got to like let the garbage run out a little bit before you start getting the good stuff again, right? So, I spent all last year not writing because we were like neck deep with stuff with the move and everything. And I've been trying very hard to like just kind of ease myself back into things. It's gotten better, but it's still a work in progress. I mean, I do love a horror comedy. I mean, I guess you could, exactly. I guess you could write it like, I forget the name of the book series that Game of Thrones was based off of, how he's got a bunch of different perspectives, but each, like, chapter is from a different perspective. You could do something like that, or like a series where each chapter is from, or like each book is from a different person's point of view. I don't know, that might could be fun. Okay. Yeah, to get me into any kind of writing habit again. I've just been writing stuff with Lady Lapine, so that way even if I hate it, I have something to look forward to in her response, instead of just me looking at my stuff going, this sucks. House of Leaves. Heck yeah. Good choice. Love a fellow that knows how to break the fourth wall. Ooh. One more sip of coffee and then we'll get rolling, because New Moon's pretty big. And if I don't start talking about it now, I might be talking about it by the time people start showing up, so. Ugh. Okay. We have our handy dandy little chart here. If I can get it right. The little star shapes are sextiles here. It's not really focused, but they're little. Imagine an asterisk, if you would. Those are sextiles. Things work well together. The triangle is a trine. Things flow naturally. The two circles interconnected is an opposition. These are as far apart on the chart as they can be. And then these here, when it cuts in the middle and then goes directly in the middle, that's a square, 90 degrees, plays with the opposites, this makes a T-square. So, there's your Astrology Chat 101. Over here we have Pisces, okay. And then up here, Lilith is starting to make a trine here with Neptune and Saturn, but not just yet. Yes, charts. I like to have the charts. It helps me. I am learning how to read them and it is very exciting. Now I just have to remember how everything plays together. There's something effortless about a lot of astrologers, and I know that it just comes with practice, but I'm just like, wow, wish I could do that. Trouble actually beginning my current way to doing things is writing about random stuff in the fantasy world. Eventually it'll get good, but I have the bad habit of just giving too much information. Yeah. I'll just write a scene that runs through my head. But a lot of my problem is I write a little bit, I guess, tersely. Like, not nearly as good as him, but like kind of Hemingway-ish. It's just short. And I can like wax poetic sometimes, but my waxing poetic I feel like is normal to a lot of people. I don't know. But it's something that I've noticed, like, it's pulling teeth. Like, I hit 70,000 words on that book that I wrote, and I was like, finally, because I was just running out of steam, and I barely crossed that line. So. I'm hoping that with the astrology stuff, though, that it like helps people see that they can just do things, and also that it's a work in progress for everybody. I don't know. The polished is nice. I can look at your chart and read you for filth is really cool. I'd like to be able to do that, but I'm just not there yet. Anyway, so lots to talk about, lots of things moving. All of these up here in Capricorn will be moving into Aquarius basically by the end of this week. if not sooner. The moon moves fast. She will be in there tonight. Maybe early morning for you. But Mars will be in Aquarius. Venus is in Aquarius now. The sun is going to be in Aquarius later. Invest in what you're doing. Yeah, I could see that. I know I compare myself a lot to people too, so that like really makes me self-conscious, but it was a friend of ours joking about how they were an astrology gay because they knew their big three, and I went, oh, is that what I am? And them and Lady Lapine's like slow head turn towards me, like I could hear the bones in their neck creaking. It was so slow. And yeah, apparently I'm just lost from the sauce, and that was a few months ago, so it's just like, well, I'm just gonna lean into it, I guess. If people think that I'm good at it, then I'll do what I can. So everything's moving into Aquarius. By the end of this week, we will have this Aquarius stellium. A stellium is when you have major planets, and a stellium is if you have like the major planets, so the sun, the moon count, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. Wow, out of order. But that's when you have multiple planets in one sign. So we've had a Capricorn stellium for a while. Things have been kind of tense, yeah. Things have been tense, kind of serious. There's been a lot of planning, a lot of things just kind of like, I don't know, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is discipline. Saturn is structure. Saturn is, I've noticed like a lot of planning and such, at least with things that I've been doing. Aquarius is kind of the rebel. I affectionately call him the social justice warrior of the chart. So we're gonna see, like, they're a bit unconventional. They stick up for what's right. It's a very community-based sign rather than individual. So we're gonna see a bit of a shift towards that. But today, in just a few hours, we have the first new moon of the year. It is right here, and she will be at 28 degrees because the moon moves really fast. You can't see me writing my notes, but here you go. We've got notes. The moon, she is progressing leftwards on this chart. She will be at 28 degrees at her peak new moonness. 28 degrees in Capricorn, so that is the end of the chart. This is the lower, or the higher degrees, so charts or like segments go from 1 to 30 degrees. The lower the number, the more new, the more kind of in-depth, and the higher the number, it's more cumulative. Yes, cumulative, there we go. So this is kind of like a culmination. And the last 4 or 5 new moons that we've had have all been at like 28 degrees, and I've noticed, everybody's noticed, things seem to be, I don't know, it feels like, at least in my personal life, and I can talk about it more later, that one chapter is certainly wrapping up. Like, I've still been in it, but one chapter is really starting to like finish. And I think with all of these new moons at the lower degree or the higher degrees like this, it's just kind of been like dragging on and dragging on. There's nothing, it's just, I see the inevitable coming. It is just taking its sweet, sweet time. I don't remember if this is the last new moon quite at this degree. I'd have to look it up. But with it being Capricorn and with it being in Saturn, there's a lot of discipline for it. It's a really good new moon, honestly. Like, it's the first new moon of the year. It's kind of like, the way that I keep hearing about it is that it's like laying the framework basically for the rest of the year. So I was in my notes, which I usually write them on paper, but this week is so, like, this new moon in particular is so much that I just pulled out basically Word and I started typing because there was no way in hell. It was 9 in the morning and I start at 10, and I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get all this written down. It's a global feeling in general at this point. Regression is coming through. Yeah. And a lot of that, I feel like, if we humor the stars for a bit and just talk about it as a roadmap, a lot of that has been, and we'll talk about it more obviously as things come along, these two, which are Saturn and Neptune. Neptune's been in Pisces since 2011. These are the outer planet, or like Neptune's an outer planet, so like you do feel Neptune on a personal level, but they talk about it more as like a collective thing because you can't see it with your eyes, so it's more community based. It's more of what you can't see, so it's everybody versus just the individual. Now people can be Neptune heavy, and Neptune can influence on a personal level, but basically since Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011. And that's been fine. Neptune's been at home in Pisces since Neptune rules Pisces, right? But Pisces and Neptune are full of like dreams and illusion and fog and lies and, you know, things like that. So we've seen like a big rise, and, you know, the mysticism stuff has been a big thing that I've noticed. There's been a lot of, I don't know, sweet talking people that have just gotten into places that they probably shouldn't be. There's been a lot of like confusion. I know that this Pisces is my 10th house, so that's the house of like a career and like achievements and what people see about you. And Pisces is that house for me. And I know that when I was growing up, I seemed to have a clear idea. And then 2011, I was 19. And that was just about the time that Neptune is a tech bro. No, that's Uranus. But yeah, I get what you mean. But 2011 was about the time that wasn't quite it, but a little bit after. I was on my study abroad in Tokyo, and I was about 8 months out of 10 in, and I had thought for years that I wanted to be a translator or an artist or something to that effect, and I eventually settled on translator because this was the time when it was like you need to get a real job. You can't go into the creative arts and stuff and expect to make a living. So I wanted to be a translator, and I did my study abroad in Tokyo, and I don't regret it, but about 8 months out of 10 in, I remember walking down the street. I think I was in Ikebukuro, and I was walking down the street and I just stopped, and I realized I don't want to be a translator. I don't want to do this. Like, I'm glad that I've learned it, but I don't want this. And that happened around 2012, I think, early 2013. So this was still pretty in the early stages of Neptune and Pisces. So around 2011, I guess, would have been the time that I was like, yeah, I guess I'll do the translating. So basically, I have fooled myself into thinking that, you know, like it would be better for me to be in corporate or something to that effect, or doing something more established like that should be steady. But as we have seen with the way that things have panned out over the last few years in particular, it's not as stable as, you know, like we got told. So I've spent a lot of time like being really confused about what I want to do with my life and trying new things and like telling myself, well, I just need to make money and so on and so forth, right? So it's just been this ongoing process over the last 15 years of like trying to identify that. And if you find the Pisces chart or part of your chart and find what house that is for you, you can probably see some kind of parallels. Yeah, something like that, Doji. Yeah, it's a big, long, this one is a long one, right? So I don't know quite what your chart is. What's your rising sign? Do you know? I know that you're a Leo sun. I looked it up. It's in a notebook, but the notebook's in the other room. But if you find like where the Pisces part of your chart is, yeah, that's where Neptune's been since 2011. And like not all of it's been bad, right? Like I've had some really good times. Like I had a good time being a baker when I did the bakery, and I had a good time. Yeah, that might have been about it, but still. It hasn't been all bad. Like, that was a good 3-year stretch where I was just happy doing bakery stuff. Like, it wasn't perfect, but I enjoyed it. It was artsy. It was an outlet for me. So, you know, that kind of thing has been happening. And then since, when did, let me look up when Saturn went. I have no idea, but yeah, Leo. Yeah, I'll look at your rising sign later. Don't let me forget. And I'll see which house it is. I know that Leo's your sun sign, and that's not really indicative of it. But otherwise, I'd be like, tell me what time you were born right now. But I had a good time arriving where I am now. Yeah, it wasn't always sunshine and roses, right? But like, there was a lot that happened, and a lot of good came from it. Saturn and Pisces. Now, our other period. When is Saturn in Pisces? Let me see. When did he go into Pisces? Sorry, I'm trying to remember when. Okay. So Saturn has been in Pisces since 2023. So with Saturn in Pisces, I think we've talked a little bit about it. We need to talk about it a little bit more, but it's not quite time yet. Okay. Yeah. So now I want you to think about what's been going on since early 2023, Marchish. That's been Saturn in Pisces. And Saturn is, I think we've talked a little bit about it. Saturn's a chill guy, but I compare him to like a strict grandfather. But also, as long as you're doing what you need to be doing, he is not very strict at all. He's just kind of aloof. In my head, he basically has my grandfather's personality of like, you can do whatever as long as you're doing what you need. Like, how do I say it? Do what you want as long as you have a plan to get to where you want to or need to be, basically, right? I don't think he would have really tolerated if I had been like too much of a wild child, but I always knew, like, I always had an end goal, and he was always really supportive of that. And that's kind of how I see Saturn. Hard to read, though. It was he had a very flat affect, and I lived with him, and so I always knew, like, when he was telling jokes and when he was being funny, and he was kind of a clown, but he always delivered it with such a deadpan that a lot of people couldn't read him. And so I kind of see that with Saturn too. You can describe him, like, a lot of people call him the dad of the chart. I think of grandpa, because, like, I don't know, he's associated with Kronos, so that helps too. But anyway, so he's strict-ish, but he does not punish when you don't deserve it. You just need to be following what you need to be doing. So Saturn and Pisces, Saturn does not like Pisces. Like, Saturn and Neptune do not agree, because Neptune is illusion and, like, dreams and, you know, fog and confusion, and Saturn is time and planning and structure and boundaries, and so they just kind of butt heads, right? So since 2023, if you think about things, and I think too, with you specifically, Doji, you might have been in your Saturn return, so if things have been extra hard these last couple of years, which, like, they have been for everybody, but, like, extra hard, right? It could be that it might have been your Saturn return. Again, I'd have to look at your chart again, but anyway. So, for the last couple of years, we've been dealing with this. And this is why things have been so sleepy making. I think I have issues with people that are overly kind rather than those awkward when showing kindness. People like that are hard to read and know what they have to. Yeah, so, like, there's different types of kindness, right? And I don't know. There's some types of kindness agree with some people better than others, right? So the hard to read aloof ones, I've got a soft spot for them, so I've got a bit of a soft spot for Saturn. But anyway, if you think about where you've been since 2023, this kind of all clicks together with the tiredness and the confusion and the stuff as of late. And now we've got them creeping towards Aries, which is going to take a minute. I know that Neptune is just about to get into Aries. I think that's next week, not this week, so I'm going to talk about it more next week. Basically, it's going to be go, go, go. But to tie this all in with the new moon, this is like basically the last call. Like, there is no real last chance for anything with the stars. Like, if you need it, you can work it. There are times that are just going to be harder than others. But I would consider this to be like the last call at the bar, and any other drinks you make, you're going to have to make it home. So, like, these two have been in Pisces. Uranus right here has stayed in Taurus. We still have, you know, these three outer planets in Earth and water. We have Jupiter and water. These are stabilizing forces. These are grounding forces. They are flat on the surface. Fire and air exist above, right? They are chaotic. You have the wind, you have bonfires, you have this. But like, while earth and water can be formidable in their own ways, if you think about them, just like if you just picture earth and water, I think of like a flat plain with a lake right in the middle, right? Or like maybe a valley or something to that effect. And if I think of air, I think of wind. And if I think of fire, I think of, you know, like a literal like outside campfire. So if you think about this kind of like from this perspective, this is the last full moon before all of these people, all of these players start moving into fire and air signs. So fire and air is much more, it's much faster. It's much more like go get 'em. It's time to enact a plan, whereas earth and water is grounding. Get it? Grounding. Stable. And with faster, you can lose your balance too. I would call it unstable. Unstable. Unstable? Unstable? I don't know. I think it's both? It doesn't matter. So this is your last call at the bar before you start having to mix your drinks at home. But it is extremely well placed, well timed. We have this new moon at the end. It's signaling the end of something. We are at the end of this heavy water and earth period that we've been in for the last 7 years? Maybe longer? Because Pluto was in Capricorn before, and now Pluto's in Aquarius, but Pluto was in Capricorn before last year too. So this is like get on the bus basically. So if you've had any like revelations about yourself, if you've had any ideas about things that you've been wanting to do, if you have like tangible steps, which I know you're planning something, Doji. So if you have these kinds of plans that you're working on, now is the time to, I guess it's a really good, like, they say it's a good manifestation moon, but it's more in a way to, what is it that I have it written? It's where it's a manifestation, not in the lucky things falling into your lap. Hey, son. Not in the lucky things just happening to you, like not just like, oh, I want to win the lottery and then you win the lottery, but it's like where you add tangible steps and you add your commitment and you collaborate with time and you add them, basically in my notes I called it to the proverbial meeting invitation. I have big air quotes here, corporate brain rot, but like basically you're adding them to the chat, basically, right? How you doing, son? We're talking about the new moon today. So, it do be go time, basically. Yes. And this is the last chance to do that kind of manifestation before basically the astrological rug is pulled out from us completely. So, I don't know about the two of you, but I'm looking at it from more of a, just came home freezing. Oh no, how cold is it there? think it's a nice 22 degrees Celsius here today is the high. I'm doing alright. Lady Lapine's hosting a movie party later today, so I woke up this morning and we did a bunch of work on it yesterday, but woke up this morning and kind of had to hit the ground running with that. And I had to get my astrology notes together and stuff, and there's so much going on just today alone that it was a bit of a rush, but it's going okay. Catch up with Sim real quick and then we'll start talking about the moon some more. But yeah, the notes, I told Doji earlier, my notes, I usually write them on paper. And today I had to basically pull up a Word document for them because it's just so much today. It'd be cold around here too. Yeah, y'all are in chilly parts of the world. I know that summers are different, but didn't see snow the last 5 years and here it is now. Good golly. 11 Celsius. Yeah, Doji, you're getting a last hurrah, I guess, because it doesn't snow down here. -11. Ooh-wee. Brisk. I don't miss that kind of cold. I lived for it. -9. Wowie. Nope. I lived in Wisconsin for the last 2 years of my public school. And I got out of school for 3 days in a row because the high didn't get above 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And I don't miss it. There was a day that it was so cold, and y'all would know about this, so you know, the days that are so cold you walk out with your scarf, or like you don't pull your scarf up and you breathe in and it just feels like you're breathing knives in. There was a day that I had that and I was like, this isn't for me. That was I had never been on the fence about Wisconsin, but that was my moment of, I have to get out as soon as I can. I do not, nope. Now it looks almost permanent. Ooh-wee. We got our lovely Eastern Europeans talking about the snow and the cold right now.
Nice.
Yes. I'm enjoying not being there right now.
You are.
How's it going?
Alright, everything's fine.
Oh. Perfect. Perfect. That's fine. Yeah. Oh no, honey. Yep. Yeah, I was just trying to go start the truck to get ready to go to school, and my aunt had to go to work, and I walked outside and I just forgot to pull up my scarf, and I think it was like, I don't know what it would have been in Fahrenheit or Celsius, but it was like -22 Fahrenheit, and it was like 7 in the morning, and I just breathed in and it felt like knives, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't walk outside, take one step and be out of breath. This is awful. Okay, so new moon today. It's not about lofty, I want to win the lottery dreams. It's about what I want to do with the rest of my life kind of dreams. And we were talking about it earlier, me and Doji, about how, like, especially lately with these two getting closer and closer to the end. So this is well, what you do, Doji, is what I always said that I would do if I ever moved somewhere cold, is just stay inside from the months of, what, end of November, December into early March. Like, it's pretty to look at. I just don't want to have to go anywhere. Anyway, so we have dear old Saturn and Neptune pushing into Aries, and this is part of the big rug pull that's coming up. It's just the part of you figured out what you want, maybe, and maybe how you need to get it, but maybe you haven't yet installed it, right? Or installed it like it's a software program. You haven't started actually pursuing it. Once these planets hit Aries, it's basically go time. These two are going to go absolutely conjunct at 0 degrees Aries, which my astrologer said at this degree, yes, absolutely. At 0 degrees Aries hasn't happened in like 7,000 years, and the last time that happened, like, we were shifting from the hunter-gatherer type civilization to agrarian and such. So, big revolutionary shift kind of vibes. Also with this, all of the outer planets, once everything gets settled, so the slower moving, so it's like Pluto, Neptune, Saturn. Saturn's a personal planet, but like barely. So you've got, yeah, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus. All of these slower moving planets here will all be like playing nicely with each other, which hasn't happened in these kinds of positions, like consistently, like all at the same time. Has not happened in a very, very long time. So on that hand, like, it'll be good, like, ultimately, but my biggest concern is what is soon to me may be different than what soon is considered to be by the universe, right? So things to keep in mind. But anyway, this all ties in with the new moon. So we're at the end of this sign. It's happening at 28 degrees in Capricorn. The last few new moons, I think 4 or 5, have all been at like 28 degrees. These are like 28 degrees, 29 degrees. These are like the end stage degrees. These are like the culmination pieces. These are the if it is not serving you, you know it by now. It is time to let it go. And so especially these last few months with all of these new moons at 28 degrees, me personally, the way that I've been like feeling is that like part of me is in one part of my life, and then the like there's another part of me that's like 2 or 3 steps behind. I feel like I'm living in like 2 timelines basically, right? Theoretically, this is all about to change. And I was joking with dear old Saturn in particular, going, I've already uprooted so much. Can I just keep this one thing that does keep me in the second timeline for like another year, basically, right? I just need it for another year. And then after that, we should be good to go. And I've already like uprooted my whole life. I've uprooted like my family. I've, been letting go of people that don't serve me. Like, I've been helping Lady Lapine get this off. Can I keep this one little thing that keeps me on the separate? I don't think I'm gonna get to do that. I really there's been some like really, it's work related, right? So like I don't know that I'm gonna get to do that. And it's not through any fault of my own, right? It was like, and so I would say like I'm at peace with whatever happens, but this is what I would like. And I'm not going to step away voluntarily. If you want me to do this, you have to force my hand. I think my hand's about to get forced. I feel like Saturn's just saying, bet, and about to force my hand. I could be mistaken. I hope I'm mistaken. But the last dregs of these dreams before the first sign of the zodiac, before the first degree of the entire chart, before the complete start over, right? Like, I've already put a lot of things in motion on a personal level. This is the last thing that's hanging on. Saturn's hanging on by a thread. Saturn will be in Aries next month. And it just, on a personal level, I feel this one extremely strongly. But for the time being, we have this new moon here. The end. Everything is at the end. About to hit a big shift. And so this is the last chance. Like I said earlier, Sen, before you got here, I think I was comparing it to like, this is not your last chance ever, because that's just not how the cosmos work. But consider it like the last call at a bar, and any other drinks you want, you're gonna have to make it home. Right? So we've got this big cosmic rug pull coming up because everything's about to move into air and fire signs instead of water and earth signs. And so this moon is in an earth sign, it's in a Saturn rule sign. It's like, okay, do you feel that you are split into different timelines, or do you feel like you know you need to be doing something else but you're not doing it? Do you know what you want possibly for the rest of your life? If not that, at least for the next like 5 to 15 years. This is your chance to kind of like at least get that ball rolling if you don't already have it, right? So it's not the I want to win the lottery kind of manifestation. It's the, oh, I want to be an artist and this is what I'm going to do to get it, right? Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn likes numbers. It's not the wishy-washy dreamy, oh, it's me, I want to do this, and if it works out then I'll have lots of money. It's like, I want to be an artist and I want to bring in 60,000 a year or something to that effect, right? And like these are the steps that I'll do it, right? And I don't know where I'm going. That would be like if you're talking to Pisces or like something to that effect. So anything you manifest, bring the numbers, have the plan, and be patient because it won't happen immediately. This is not a immediately, again, win the lottery kind of overnight luck. This is a between now and the full moon in Capricorn, which I think is in June, you will start seeing some motion. It might not be fulfilled yet, but you will start seeing some motion, right? You will implement these steps, and that culmination will be in June, and the pieces might fall into place then. That is when Jupiter will be going into Leo, when this new moon happens, or when that full moon happens in June. Again, moving into a fire sign, go time, basically. So, last call. I saw an astrologist on Instagram saying that for her manifestation routine, she was going to like write out those specific things, like I said, and like since Capricorn is Saturn and Saturn is gravity and time, her little thing was she was going to put like a heavy thing on top of it and say like, my goals can stand the test of gravity or time or something like, I don't know, I thought it was cute. But however you feel best to manifest something like this, be it like a 5-year plan, these are my ultimate goal kind of plan, something like that, that should be fine. And I would say, just to like maybe show Saturn you mean business, do like a little step of something today or tomorrow. Now, this is like, it goes exact in a few hours, but Girly Q Moon is busy today. She's mapping out this. Yes, it has definitely been in the air. Yeah, in November I started that little art journal. I started doing these on Sundays. Miss May's been pushing really hard on the businessy kind of stuff. Like it's been in the air. Yeah, definitely. There's a change on the wind. And I would say be careful not to, and this is just my personal input, I would say be careful not to fall into imposter syndrome or feeling like that you're not good enough, because if you won't take advantage of it, other people will. And it's not in like a zero-sum kind of game way, but some people's impulses, some people's end goals might not be as well-meaning as others. And so I worry, personally. But anyway, the little Miss Moon is busy today. That difference exactly. Not so simply wishing, but trying to, yes. And even if there's nothing you can do today to set that kind of thing, like having that kind of plan and like offering it up to this little moon and just being like, hey, this is what I've got so far. You can be open to input, right? You can be open to flexibility. But a tentative plan, like how you want to do things, is probably greatly appreciated right now from her. So Miss Moon's a busy woman today. And this is just kind of all the supporting stuff happening with it. Like the moon moves fast if she does this full cycle several times throughout the year, right? But she's busy today, and it just kind of lends credence to this new moon. So we have, throughout the day, the sun and the moon are going conjunct. It's kind of like a unification of the self. You know what you want, The sun is the masculine, the moon is the feminine, kind of like that Venus and Mars play that we had earlier in January. It's just kind of that like representative of like a full unification of yourself, right? Body and mind, you could look at it, emotions and spirit. I'm not quite sure quite how to, but the sun and the moon, you know. So they're on top of each other today. You know what you want. You've got a Mercury moon conjunction throughout the course of the day, right? And you can see it here, right? So through the course of the day. Oh, heck yeah, did you do it, Sen? I'm so glad. So let's look at our little chart. We've got the moon today, and throughout the day she's going to be going from, she's at 25 when I printed this, 25 degrees. She's going to be heading into a couple of degrees of Aquarius before the end of the day. So she's going to conjunct with Mars, she's going to conjunct with Venus, Mercury, she's going to conjunct with the sun, and tomorrow, or early this morning, or late tonight, she's going to go conjunct with Venus, and then she's going to go through Pluto. This is basically hitting the gas, right? So, sun-moon conjunction, they happen all the time, but you know what you want. This is just really insane timing for all of us to be happening at the same time. She's going, new moon. We've got the Mercury right here, moon conjunction. Use your words. You can strategize. You can write that plan out a little bit more clearly. I don't know, a little more adept at words, a little more adept at communication. Mercury's my favorite. And then in the lore, you know, like there's some trickery. He can be a little bit sneaky, a little bit silly. So I like to look at it as he adds flavor. Again, the MSG of the chart, right? You're gonna go conjunct with Mars and the moon. This gives you drive, this gives you action, endurance, stamina to get whatever it is that you're reaching for. And then the Venus and the moon conjunction will be in Aquarius, but that'll be late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Values, emotions, goals are in harmony. You can already be feeling the effects of this as it is, right? So just you're running through all of these personal planets with the moon, and then you're hitting Pluto tomorrow. He's at 3 degrees of Aries or Aquarius, so like I know this is all like really spaced out, but he's like right here, right? This is basically sealing the deal, right? Like Pluto is transformation. It is tearing down to the foundation to rebuild. So I'm looking at it as like the what is it when you make a deal with a magical being, right? Like it's like, all right, this is what you're getting now. This is you have chosen the timeline, right? It's sealing the deal. Now, on top of all of this too, we've got all of these conjunctions. We've got a Saturn and Moon sextile, so like endurance, practicality, the discipline that you need. So like really good again for that planning out. Got the Neptune and the Moon sextile, creativity, intuition, coherence, alignment. And then we've got Uranus and Moon trine. Uranus is a little like called the higher octave. I'm using air quotes here of Mercury. So like technology and breakthroughs and communication again. He has a little bit of a Plutonian vibe of he will destroy, but he will also rebuild. Maybe not as hard as Pluto. I'm calling him and Pluto the proverbial seam rippers to get through whatever timeline you're letting go of, to get to that breakthrough, to get onto the timeline that you want to be on. And then we also have Jupiter and the Moon in opposition here. Right here, the big line. Giving you a chance to grow, but a reminder to keep it manageable. So it's an opposition. Jupiter's benefic, so it's not really bad when he's in retrograde, but he is in retrograde, they are in opposition. So it's again that reminder of don't bite off more than you can chew, right? Like grow. You do have a chance for growth, you do have a chance for the abundance, but be careful not to expect it to come overnight, or if it does come overnight, it might be a bit of a monkey paw. So, all of this for today. I called it is time, I called it the time to tell the powers that be that you are ready to pick your lane, basically, right? Like, you see a bunch of different options, you see a bunch of different timelines for yourself. It's your time to pick. And then, yeah, you just add all of the Saturnian elements to it and go. So, again, we've got all the big planets in Earth and water signs right now, or at least everybody but Pluto. It's the last chance. Start of the year, first full moon, or first new moon of the year, last new moon before things start really moving into fire and air signs. This is before the rug gets pulled out. And my note says it's easier to visualize things that you want and how to get them when you're not trying to stand in the middle of an earthquake. So if you have the plan and you know what to reach for, you'll know how to act when everything starts moving into the fire and air signs, right? You'll know, you should be able to think because you've come up with the groundwork already. You know what steps you need to take. So even when things are chaotic, you know, okay, I've done this, now I need to do this. There's stuff happening around you, but I still know what I need to do versus I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm going or what's happening. So that is for the new moon today. Obviously, you got windows to work with the moon, so yesterday night into tomorrow, you're fine to think about these kinds of plans. She'll get it. It can come late, as long as it's postmarked around the same time. So, pick something you're willing to work for. Acknowledge what you might be willing to give up for it, right? Like, this is the timeline that I'm picking, this is the one that I'm letting go of. This is the community that I know I need, this is the community that isn't helping me anymore, right? This is the outlet that I have that I know I need, this is the outlet that really does more harm than good for me, things like that. Reminder again, Capricorn likes concrete because we've got that Saturn influence. So bring your plan steps, bring your actual numbers, what you want. Step 1, I want to do XYZ. Step 2, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 3, profit. You need to have step 2. Okay, so that is the new moon. If you have any questions, let me know. On Monday, so tomorrow, the sun is going into Aquarius. Aquarius, again, is the more community-focused sign. She's spontaneous. She's I call her affectionately the social justice warrior of the chart. So it's time for the next month, put yourself out there, be a bit more social, be a bit more innovative. Stand up for people if you see anybody being wronged in any way. Step 2 is the hard part. God, you're so right, Sin. Ah, you're so right. Jeez, cheers. I'll have a sip of my coffee to that one. Yeah. Step 2 is the hard part. But, again, I think Saturn likes to give more grace than he's given credit for. So as long as you say, I don't know, maybe it could go something like this, I feel like he'll at least acknowledge that you tried to figure out a step 2, even if it doesn't work out that way, right? Like, oh, I want to go into art, I want to do the astrology stuff, I want to write. Great, so step 1, decide that I want to do this. Step 2, do it. I'll try to do this every Sunday. I'll try to post a couple of things a week in my art journal. I'll try, like something like that. Just loosely. Step 3, I'll be able to afford to live comfortably. That's kind of what I'm like, just show my hand a little bit, right? But like, that's kind of what I've been trying to figure out. Like, just sipping on my monster with solidarity. Heck yeah. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I'm just like, as long as you have a loose outline, you can fill in the rougher details later, especially with as like upturned as everything's about to be. Just the difference is like you need to have some kind of plan. Like, yes, with all the fire and air, you might need to be able to like change the plan a little bit as you go, but like I don't think that Saturn's gonna dock you as long as you like actually try to have a step 2. So Monday we're going into Aquarius with the sun. Push yourself out there, be a little more spontaneous, try to get out of the house. That one's a big one for me. And then, you know, stand up for what's right, stand up for the community, take care of yourself, take care of your others, things like that. We have Mercury sextiling Saturn. So Mercury just kind of amplifying what Saturn does. So Mercury will be right here. It'll kind of be, yeah. Got rationality, logic. Your communication could be serious. You'd be a little more organized with your thoughts and your words. This could kind of help you fill in a little bit more of your step 2 if you want to. My plans usually consist of thinking about what I can do from all perspectives and not bothering with things I can't know. Yeah, I could see that. I think my biggest thing though is I get I'm really bad. And this is my double Mercury showing. I think I get really bad decision paralysis. So I will think about all things from all angles, and I will keep thinking about things from all angles, and I need to do something about that, and then I will keep thinking about things from all angles, and I will just spend 4 hours thinking about things from all angles and slowly spiraling into a nonverbal panic attack because that's too much to think about, and I can't really make a plan if I'm too busy catastrophizing about all of the different outcomes. So the new move for me is just to stop catastrophizing. This is what we've got. This is how we've got it. You know more than you think you do. Just kind of go with it, right? An apple in solidarity. Yeah, there you go. On Monday, Mercury will also be trining Uranus. The mind may be more intense, viewpoints. So this is Mercury here talking to Big Brother Uranus, right? So mine may be more intense, viewpoints may become a bit more unusual, especially with Mercury creeping up in the last degrees of Capricorn into Aquarius. You can start feeling that Aquarian influence. So it might get a little more, you might get a little creative. You might be MacGyvering a few things. Inventive, that's a good way to put it. Outside of the box. So if Mercury is ADHD and Uranus is ADHD, you're just double ADHDing basically. Now on Monday the Sun will also be sextiling Neptune for a day or two. Over this way, like this. So with that, I feel like the Mercury and the Uranus trining and then the Sun sextiling Neptune, it's a big creativity, it's a big thinking outside the box kind of feeling. Pay attention to dreams or ideas that you have that might seem important. Listen to your intuition. Sometimes intuition is stupid, like, trust me, I know. But every now and again, sometimes it goes, oh, this is gonna happen, right? And then, cool, right? So just, yeah, Monday, today, Monday, maybe Tuesday too, just kind of pay attention to things like a little bit more spiritually, a little bit more metaphysically, I don't know. For me, the biggest obstacle is starting, especially in community, so I'm getting overwhelmed by trying to make it. Yep, that's, what's up, Gemini rising? I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't know, in November, I think, was about when I was hitting my limit, October, November, when I was hitting that limit of just, maybe I get one profanity, I don't know, maybe I'll skip the profanity, but basically something clicked in my head and I just went, screw it. Like, I too get overwhelmed by trying to make the preparations perfect, but I had my hand forced so many times in 2025, right? And nothing completely fell apart, right? Like, things threatened, things cracked a little bit, but nothing completely fell apart. And so I think that kind of taught me of just like, oh, I just need to do it. And it's not perfect yet by any stretch, right? But this was kind of like part of my question for tarot on Friday of like, did I figure out the thing with Chiron? Like, did I figure this out? Did I do it? Of like, I don't know, do it scared just hits me a little bit differently now than it used to do, right? Like, do it scared meant like I had a panic attack and I was hyperventilating and I did it anyway, which yes, you can do it that way, but also like do it scared in a, I don't know what's going on, I'm a little worried about it, but I'm just gonna do it kind of thing also kind of clicked for me, right? So I've just been doing. And again, it's not perfect. Like I was talking about earlier, I've been trying to haggle Saturn and to let me keep this last thing for one more year just to like really stabilize it. And I don't know that it's going to happen, but I don't know. Something just kind of, and I think part of it too is all of this happening, all of these big shifts happening, like things are starting to move into the fire and the air signs. I'm just a little more willing to go. I'm not digging in my heels so hard. I'm not being so stubborn about it. And again, it's not perfect because I too have that I won't start until it's perfect streak. I want to do that, but I'm getting to where it's like I can't let myself get stuck that way. So I don't know. On Monday, the moon will also be properly conjunct to Pluto in Aquarius. Now again, the moon moves fast, so I'm not going to talk about the moon throughout the whole week because the moon's busy. Moon's a busy girl. Moon does things. The moon does things. Lil in 2026. But it's going to, on all of this with all of the Aquarius, it's going to properly conjunct Pluto. So you'll have gone through all of these and she's going to hit Pluto and this is like the last stop in the string. And I'm thinking that it kind of ties in with the new moon of just like a check-in, right? Of how are you feeling? This is the sealing the deal. This is how I feel about setting this intention. This is how I reacted as I was setting this intention. This is how I'm feeling now about it. Gives you the strength to be willing to transform that part of your life wherever it is, right? How are you feeling past the manifestation period? Did you have a revelation about which timeline? Are you having a revelation? Like you can be feeling, this is like technically 3. This is up here and the moon is right here. So you can be feeling these kinds of revelation. That's the quality of research we came here for. I can't remember what I said, but I hope I don't know. If it's me saying I don't know, that makes sense. But like this is the last stop. This is the sealing the deal with the spiritual power, like in the wish kind of thing. The moon, oh yeah. Oh, the moon's a busy lady, yeah. She's doing things. Yes. Let me write this down. The moon does things. She does things. This is the sealing and the deal. This is the signing the contract with the cosmos. This is what I want, right? This is the transformative part of it. This is the, okay, this is the timeline you have chosen. You are locked in at this point, right? Now with this kind of sealing the deal, you may have some feelings about it that just kind of come up out of nowhere. You just kind of have to handle it, right? Pluto's about going in deep. Pluto's about completely shaking something down to the foundation before you build it back up. So like right at the new moon, when there's nothing and it's starting to build up, hitting Pluto right as, to make nothing to start to build up. Big Phoenix vibes. Big Phoenix vibes. That's a good way to put it too. Now you have to handle them though, those feelings that you may get out of nowhere. We kind of slow down for a little bit after that. Tuesday's a little bit busy. Let me see. Ooh, it's 11 already. Tuesday's a little bit busy. Venus is going to go conjunct to Pluto. We've got all of these planets, so all of these planets move a lot faster than Pluto does. Pluto's going to be in Aquarius for like 15 years or something like that. So Pluto's just kind of strolling and everybody else is booking it, right? So the moon goes conjunct. Then Venus is already 1 degree into Aquarius. She's going to go conjunct to Pluto on Tuesday. Then the sun is going to go conjunct onto Pluto. Then Mercury is going to go conjunct. Then Mars is like over the course of the week, right? Everybody's going conjunct into Pluto. Just feeling things down to their deepest, shaking things to their core, getting ready to build it back up. You can have deep kind of revelations about things that desperately need to change, things like that. So on Tuesday, Venus goes conjunct to Pluto. You can call it intense interactions with others. Venus is relationships, abundance, things of that ilk, like love and abundance, basically, I guess would be like a 2-word summary for Venus. So if you go up against the person that shakes things to the core, builds them back up, you can have big conversations, right? You can have big thoughts about your resources, just general intensity about all things related to that. And you have to be honest about them, but you also have to allow others to be honest. You also have to allow others to take time to process. You have to allow others to basically put their words together. Now, Venus and Pluto, Venus does move far more quickly than Pluto does, but Venus moves slower than the moon. Again, this is the kind of research that you come here for. So this conjunction, you're probably going to be able to feel it for a few days around it. The sun will be in Aquarius, and it will start sextiling Uranus down here. And that's kind of an out with the old and with the new vibe. Still fits with this new moon kind of feeling. Like this whole week just feels like that kind of great big reset of I have picked my lane, now it is time to put the pieces in motion. So the sun's going to sextile Uranus, out with the old and with the new. It might feel a little shaky, but it can work out. This is kind of like a trust the process kind of thing, right? Because Uranus is the disruptor, and the sun is the core. So you might get a little bit wobbly. It'll feel a little disorienting, but just wait for the dizziness to pass. It will, and you can figure it out. Mars here will also trine Uranus, but it will be tempered with sextiling Saturn here, right? So we're reaching out to Uranus, and we're also using our other arm reaching out to Saturn. So Mars trine Uranus would be dynamic. This can lead to big breakthroughs and old obstacles. Again, tying really nicely in with that new moon. But with the Mars sextile Saturn, you'll still need discipline. You still need endurance. Delays can be to your advantage, but still kind of persevere, do what you can, and be patient. Also on Tuesday, our dear Mercury will be formally entering Aquarius. This is, again, more socialization, more being out, more talking to people. This is exchanging ideas, look for unique ones, be creative, innovative, things like that. Mercury will be here for a while. I don't remember when. Got Mars dates, but Mercury will be in here for a few weeks. So just be open to ideas, do your best to socialize. As an introvert, this is hard, but you know, just be open. Flexible, I guess. I did add, this is when I was like realizing that the moon be doing things, because I was just like, oh, I was still adding moon facts, and the moon's gonna square Uranus for like 2 seconds on Tuesday night, and I was like, it's a little tense, but also it's in the middle of the night, so don't worry too bad, LOL is literally my notes. And then I went, that's gonna be like 1 a.m. for me, and no time clock for everybody else, so just who cares? So that's Tuesday. Don't worry about what the moon be doing. Wednesday, we're going to have another Mercury and Sun Cazimi. So the Sun and Mercury will be right there in the middle of like how we had that Cazimi with Venus a little while ago. We're gonna probably have another one, but Mercury's gonna catch up to the Sun again, and it's gonna be smack in the middle. We've talked about these a little bit before. It's good for like pieces falling into place, for like sudden realizations. It's really good for communication. Basically, a Cazimi is when it is perfectly like, we'll use our little crystal balls here, right? So we have the Sun, we have Mercury, and it is going directly in the center, right? So it's amplification. Now, the thing with Cazimis and combusts are that they can also burn, which I have mentioned before. But if you leverage it correctly, it just tends to like magnify the traits of the planet. It's good for clarity and a full moon moment in the Mercury cycle. You may have realizations, you may have culminations, things of that ilk. Thursday, it's Mercury's turn to go conjunct Pluto. Again, this one might take a few days. Mercury doesn't moon as fast as the moon does. Mercury doesn't move as fast as the moon does. So you might be feeling it for a few days around Thursday. But it's for deep conversation. There's a lot of power in speech and persuasion. There can be talks of change. For those hiding things, those things can be exposed right now. By and large, I said that this is positive, but remember, again, that bad players may also be benefiting from this sign, so be careful. This conjunction adds depth and intensity to thinking and communication. Secrets can be uncovered through research and question. Do some self-analysis, like introspection. So like Pluto is all about like reaching into the like deepest part of your psyche, right? So like kind of pulls Mercury in, right? So it's really good time for like introspection and figuring out things about yourself that maybe you couldn't at other times. So think about things, do some self-analysis if there's anything that you need to like really contemplate and meditate on and try to figure out. It's a good opportunity to kind of like realize something pretty big about yourself. And again, this is just another thing that just kind of really ties in really pretty with the new moon and just picking your lane, basically. On Friday, Mars is going into Aquarius. Buddy Mars is going into Aquarius. He'll be there until March the 2nd. I did not note how long Mercury would be there, my bad. But he'll be there until March. Mars is drive, ambition, power, go get 'em tiger, obviously war, but you know, just that initiative taking, right? So Mars going into the social justice warrior, affectionate of the zodiac sign. You're fighting for just causes. It can make him a little bit unpredictable, but also he can be fairly inspirational at this point. Problems get solved a little bit unconventionally. When Mars is in Aquarius, he's a little more intellectual, a little more detached when managing those issues. He's not as happy as he is in Capricorn, but I don't think it's too bad of a placement. But if he feels constrained, it can make him get a little bit rebellious. So have your boundaries. Don't block yourself off completely, I guess, and just kind of get them. But also, if you get blocked, don't lose your cool, I guess. Also, the sun's turn to go conjunct to Pluto on Friday. It shows you what's beneath the surface, more embracing of the upcoming transformation. Let go of what isn't helping you get to where you want to be. You're embracing what makes you you, and you're figuring out how it can help the world at large since it is in Aquarius. So the whole theme this week is embrace change, pick your lane, and let go of the beliefs that aren't helping. Like, obviously, if it is a rational thought to be having, like, oh, I can't hold my breath for 15 minutes, like, obviously, don't let that go. Don't drown yourself, right? But, like, if it's just imposter syndrome, or if it's just I'm not good enough, like, it's time to let it go, right? Like, it's time to go do what you're doing. On Saturday, there is some moon stuff going on, but the moon do be mooning every day, so I'm just not going to worry about it too much until we get to like a full moon or a new moon right now. So yeah, that is this week in a nutshell. A very large nut, but still. Questions, thoughts, insight, I am open for input. But busy week. Next week is even busier. So buckle up. Y'all type out some questions or things to talk about while I go get a paper towel for my painting. An hour and a half. It's a lot. Yeah, tumbleweed. That's if you don't have your plan. That's if you don't have your plan. So have your plan, and then you might go from tumbleweed to I'm in a car that the brakes don't work, but I know how to get to where I need to be. Miss May's been setting up for the party outside, so I had a little olive snack too while I was out there. So Sen, have your revelations possibly been career and like life goal oriented? Of the plans that you've been making? I can't remember. Did we talk about that? Both sound yeah. I'm not saying it's not gonna be stressful. Like I made no promises on that. Got no promises on the lack of stress here. This is just a good moon for getting a ball rolling. So for me, I'm gonna be... My caps case small slips like... Yeah. Definitely, and this one's a builder. This one isn't the, like I said, it's not the, I'm gonna win the lottery. It's just, I want to work on this so that I can do this, right? And it might take a while, but patience will be rewarded kind of thing. Endurance. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Hamster ball. Mm-hmm. Yeah, big marathon, not sprint vibes, is what I've been getting. Which is a bit of a pain, because I'm like, if I'm possibly about to not be working corporate again, I would like to know that I'm going to have a steady income, and that's kind of terrifying, right? But I don't know, we'll find out. I have a saving. I'm not, like, logically I'm not worried, right? But it's big, it's new, it's scary, it's a big step. I've gotten complacent and I have gotten used to things, and I'm not used to, like, I don't know, I'm just not used to being scrappy anymore. I don't want to. So
We worked hard to not be scrappy.
we worked hard to not be scrappy, so I don't want to be scrappy. But also, like, I am painfully not happy in corporate, right? So it's kind of like that's been my realization since October-ish, right? And so it's just, I need to be at least a little scrappy. But I don't know. It's spooky. 2026 is kind of all over the place too. Like, it's a daunting year. Like, it can work out really well, and for some people, depending on where placements are and everything in everybody's charts, some people may feel it more than others, but I know that I've been feeling this one hard. And it's only January. So. And collectively things are Y'all see the news. It's not good. But I need to find a place where I can see news on the US that isn't from US sites, because I have a sneaking suspicion things are getting hidden. But yeah, even if things don't work out, they can still lead to important revelations, right? Like, I thought that if I had and this has kind of been part of, like, Neptune and Pisces for me, I think, is I thought that if I had a steady paying job that would, like, clear out my brain space, I wouldn't have to worry about money and anything, so I could, like, work on, my art in my free time and so on and so forth. But it's so just, like, emotionally taxing for me to do the corporate thing, right? Like, it's so draining. Like, I just don't have it, right? And so that's been, like, my big over the last few months. And I really feel like, you know, Lady Laughine's reception on Oliver Tarot and stuff has been really positive so far. Like, everybody's really seemed to enjoy it. And so it makes me kind of hopeful that it'll work out. And then I just get to be the right-hand man for a while I do art and start writing and stuff. That'd be optimal. But I don't know. Maybe once things are in Aries, I'll start having more insight on how to do things, but I at least know the direction that I want things to go in. So. And, like, getting myself to admit it was a big one, right? Of like, oh, no, actually, I was right a long time ago, and I didn't know what I wanted, and I know I wanted to be an artist and a writer and stuff like that, and I just... No, I got it in one, I really did, right? Instead of, oh, well, I can do it this way, and just do it this way, and just dance around it, and eventually forget about it, and it's like the give up on your dreams of becoming a baker thing, right? Like, I really tried to give up on those dreams, and it's just not working. I keep dreaming about it, and I keep missing it, and getting frustrated, and wondering about the what-ifs. Absolutely. No, honey. Thank you. You're welcome to have another coffee if you need one. I'm really stubborn about not getting into things if I'm not sure about them, but there's no growth. Yeah. Big mood. I don't know, I grew up getting told, not by my family, but by, like, the messaging that I got. Like, my family's always been fairly supportive of everything, right? And I've always been really great. Like, I don't knock that at all, but, like, they don't have a whole heck of a lot, so it's not like they can, like, support me as a backup or anything like that. But they've never, like, been like, oh, you can't be an artist. It was like, well, you can, but it'll be hard. So it's just mostly me taking in all the societal messages of I have to be self-sustaining, I have to be able to do it all myself, I have to be, you know, I never quite wanted the nice house and the picket fence and everything like that and the 2 kids or anything like that, but I did want, you know, enough stability implied that I could just do what I wanted in my free time. But it's so just, like, physically much on me to keep denying myself what I need to be doing, which is stuff like this, that I'm just like, well, so important for me to remember. I'm getting dream job is to be a game director. Because of that, I need to engage in a lot of things that I might not be good enough, but just enough to understand what makes important. Sure that I might be unsure. Yeah, with being something like a game director too, right? You're gonna hire people that have their expertises in the spots that you don't have the expertise. You have the general idea, and then the crux of that would be that you are open and receptive to the professionals' ideas, right? Because there's so many managers and directors and stuff that I feel like are like completely out of sync with what actually needs to happen. And that's kind of what's going on with my day job now, which makes me like not sure that things are going to work out there. So we've got a guy who's never worked in the field before. Like he works something else, and he's never worked in the specific niche that I work in. And he's just coming in and completely uprooting everything. And my job to people who aren't familiar with the field or aren't familiar to things is like very, if you're not in the right mindset about it, if I don't make my case to you, it can be very, well, why do we even need that, right? I work as a technical writer, so I like manage the documentation, and I help the subject matter experts write them, and I help people make sense of it so that people who might not have any background information on it can read and understand it, because if something happens, you know, it needs to be written down and it needs to be understandable. The knowledge of whatever it is cannot stop with one person, because if you lose that person, be it like they lose their job or if they're in an accident or something, like you've lost that information. So when I sit there and I explain it to people like, oh, this is why you need a technical writer, they go, oh, that makes so much sense. But like if you're not giving it the time of day, you can be like, well, why do I need that, right? I feel like. So to tie that in with the director thing, right? Like it's just like if you're like you know enough to know that you don't know everything, and that you're open to input and suggestion from the people who do know whatever that specific facet is, I think that could work out really well. And I could see you being that type very easily of like, well, tell me what you think. Tell me why, right? Like, give me the reason. And I'm interested. So, I think you could do it. I just want to write, and I want to do art, and just want to be the weird little creative that I've always been, and it's just scary, and I don't know where the money's going to come from. Whereas, you know, maybe I hate my job now, but I at least know that every 2 weeks I'm going to get paid. So that's kind of where that's at. So y'all spread the word and let folks know that we're open. I do art, and I don't want to read a person's personal chart just yet, but you know, I can help with astrology, and I do writing, and I can do freelance editing and stuff too. Hey. But yeah. So I don't know. It's scary. A lot of 2026, there's a lot of you're gonna do it. You have to do it. You have no choice but to do it. But this is where the do it scared kind of steps in. I think it does. Like if you know that your state of being unsure is just a part of you, that will be there regardless, then it will be, yeah, I need to stop. Yeah, definitely. There's because Lady Lapine and I are both really bad at perfectionism and stuff too, right? I had a friend like chide me for being too perfectionistic, right? Like I do a good job at what I do. It's fine. I shouldn't worry about it so much. She was like, and I was like, well, I'm never 100. It was like, what is, when are you sure of something? Like, if you're never 100% sure of something, when are you sure of something? Like, what is your sure of something? And that reframe helped me a lot, right? Of like, well, I'm never going to be 100% sure of something. So when am I, what is my equivalent of being 100% sure of something, right? And for me, it's somewhere between like 75 to 80%, right? So when I'm like 75 to 80% sure of something, that's my cue to just be like, okay, it's time. And maybe that'll help you too, Sen. Like, that's been a lot of my overcoming the I can't do it until it's perfect kind of thing. Of like, okay, well, it's not 100%, but it's never going to be 100%. what's my 80%? Like, so to you, Sin, I would extend, what is your equivalent of 100% sure? So for me right now, it's like, with the work and everything, it's like, oh, well, I don't know if it's all gonna work out. There's all these different variables that are coming in, and, you know, like, the whole starving artist mythos, and all of this mythos, and a whole lot of things to, like, really deprogram out of my head that I've been taught over the years, but I also know that I can't ignore. I can't live my life denying myself that I like to do creative things. I spent the last 10 years, 11 years, like, telling myself, no, I can't do this. No, I can't. Like, I have to be comfortable. I have to not do them by the script, but I have to do the milestones my way, and I'm X years old. I can't be just living paycheck to paycheck anymore, and I still don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck, but, like, there's a lot of deprogramming that I've been having to work through. Who are we to know if something is 100% right? Yeah, I know, but boy howdy, if things aren't right, it sure does hurt when it falls. And, like, 2019 was really hard for me in a lot of ways. I'm just really scared to have to repeat something like that. Like, I lost a job, and then I was unemployed for, like, a year, and I didn't have the kind of savings that I needed at all, and the savings ran out, and then something happened, and then something happened, and then that was kind of when I sold I affectionately call it selling my soul to the corporate devil. Or not affectionately, it's a little disdainfully, let's be real, right? But also I had a friend going, well, maybe if I just get a corporate job, and I'm like, don't be like me, don't do that. Or if you do, have an exit strategy, don't get sucked in. And I had a whole lot of things in my life because of money or how I've lived like that for so long, it feels natural, and now I can afford them. Yeah, definitely. And, like, it's not cheap down here to live by any means, and I realize that, but it is a lot cheaper than where we were living before, and I have to realize that, oh, my savings would actually theoretically go a lot further, and I have a bunch of little backup plans that aren't perfect, but, like, it could pad it out for, honestly, a few years before I needed to, like, really start panicking, and, you know, just stuff like that, and I don't know. It's the difference between knowing and, like, knowing, though. Like, I have to fight my lizard brain all the time, is what I call it. And, like, logically I can understand, oh, I'm probably fine with whatever it is at whatever time, but convincing myself of that, like, to believe it, just is next to impossible. I do all the stars, but I'm extremely skeptical all the time. Yeah, that's what I've done for the last 4 years. I've been in this role for 4 years, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's so much work. It's so much work," and it's really not. It's just, and, like, I've acknowledged that and I've appreciated that, but the constant, like, looking over my shoulder all the time, because, like, yeah, to survive we kind of have to put rules on ourselves, so it might be hard to rewire. Yeah, definitely. With my corporate job, though, like, I've been here for going on 4 years, and in that time they've had, like, 3 or 4 or 5 layoffs, like, layoff cycles, because it's in the US, and that's just how that works. I've survived the whole time, and, like, I don't have the 40 hours of work to do every week, and so, like, theoretically it would be a lot less stressful if I just, you know, like, could relax, but because of all of the layoffs and stuff, I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. I'm constantly in this like permanent like just state of anxiety about things like, oh, I could lose the job tomorrow, or oh, I just won't renew the contract, or oh, it'd be this, that, and the other, and oh, I need to, you know, like sit here and look like I'm working really hard so that they think that I'm working really hard even though I don't have anything to, you know. And it does give you a lot of free time, but at least in my experience, the stress is like crippling. It's like debilitating to the point of I can get nothing else done, right? And that's been kind of the problem the whole time, and it's just like I can't do anything if I'm just sitting there scared. And that's kind of how I've been for the last 4 years. Survive, we kind of have to put rules on ourselves. Yeah, I grew up broke, so I joke and I call it poverty brain, and I have it very badly. It's gotten a lot better over the years, but it's been hard to break. But I'm worried about the collective with all of the big shifts happening. I'm also kind of hopeful for me. Or maybe that's been kind of what's keeping me optimistic about how things go for me and Lady Lapine. We'll see. But like, I had a friend who got a big settlement from some stuff that happened to her at work, and she just moved to Hawaii and lived there for a year and did a whole bunch of other stuff and wrote a book and everything. And I was like, maybe I can do something like that and just be a little bit smarter about it than she was, because eventually obviously the money does run out, right? But you know, I'd sit there and think, God, if I had that kind of money, I'd show you what to do with it. And it's like, well, and this is part of the Saturn thing. I feel like he's just kind of like leaning in and going, okay, bet. Worst thing. It's similar for me, but I'm now also necessary to the point that now I'm in a leadership position, so is to effort. Yeah. Both. Yes to both. I'm not in a leadership position exactly, but I work very high up, relative to where I feel like I should be. And yeah, it definitely feels weird when you're just like, oh, well, I'm done for the day, and I started at 8 and it's 10. Yes, I got punished every time I tried to push forward. Bless you. Sorry. That's okay. My past few years felt like punished every time. Just start again without being. Yeah, that too, definitely. And that's kind of why I stopped doing like any kind of public anything with any of my art. I was just feeling like I was getting rejected over and over and over again. I was like, well, what even is the point? Because when I moved after I graduated, my goal was to get a job in some kind of art field, but at the time, with the art stuff, it was still, and I don't know, it probably still is, but it was very digital art focus. And as you can see, I'm not really one for digital art. Like I had a big phase when I was younger. But anyway, so I graduated from college and I was like, well, I do art and I have my whole life, so maybe I'll put together a little portfolio and just kind of see if anything bites. And nothing bit. And I got so discouraged after about a year of trying with things that I just kind of shelled myself off with it for like 10 years. And that was that stint then of just doing sketches for 10 years straight, right? Only sketches, nothing else. And like, it was good practice, but I just kind of like walled myself off so bad. And I wonder like what kinds of opportunities and such I missed as a result, but also good practice, right? And then just back in November, I was like, well, wherever I was then, I've got 10 years on it now. And even then, people were already telling me, oh, you could sell your stuff. So let's just kind of, well, we'll try. Last week I barely worked for 2 hours while pretending I worked all week. Doing my best not working too hard. I will slowly wither if I do. Yeah. Yeah, there's... I don't know. At first it feels really cool to have that kind of a job, and then after a while, with all, like, at least for me, with all the layoffs and stuff, so it was just like, because I got laid off at another job that I was working at, and it was just purely for budget. I didn't do anything wrong, but they added, like, tracker stuff, I guess, to the laptops and stuff, since it was the work laptops and everything, and I had stuff pulled up, and I didn't have much to do, right? So I had stuff pulled up on YouTube, and I had stuff pulled up on, I had Spotify pulled up, and I got dinged, because they were like, we've got trackers, we're going to be contacting you if you don't do your job, and I got all of my job done, and then I would do stuff, and then I got dinged, and it was like, you're on non-useful sites, and it's like, well, give me more work, and then they couldn't give me more work, so they let me go. And that really, like, scarred me, I guess. So now that I have a job where it's like, I don't have anything to do, it's like I'm still too scared to let myself do anything, though. Between, you know, having been laid off and all the layoffs going on around me, it's just like I'm always, like, terrified. And just, I guess since I've been, I was experiencing that. And there's just so much that I can deal living like that. It's been, like, years of living like this, and I guess around September or October, I just realized, I'm done. I need to stay here for maybe one more year if I can swing it, but otherwise, we're gonna get Miss May's business up and running. I'm gonna start doing art, and we're gonna go from there. I'm gonna start writing, so on and so forth. I can't deal with this anymore. All of my years of, I wish somebody would give me, I've saved up a lot of money, and again, so I feel like Saturn's just leaning in and going, alright, bet. And just with everything else going on with 2026 too, we really, at some point, depending on how things go, I might have to have like a off day huddle about everything coming up. I wonder if we should do that on YouTube, or if that should just be like a Discord thing that we can advertise. But right now, depending on how things go, my goal is either like try this out for a little while, see if anything goes, or just start working like little freelance jobs or 20 hours a week or something like that. Nothing too much. Nothing to where I'm expected to be there full time or anything like that. It's kind of where I'm at right now. A little side hustle down here teaching English. I just up the hours on that. It doesn't pay super great though. How does 2026 look overall? Ooh boy. Ooh boy, Sin. That's a loaded question. Ooh boy. Ooh-wee.
About March.
Let's talk about March?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So basically it's Game On next month. And it will be Game On through March. I think there's a little bit of a lull in June? Sometime around then. Let me actually, I'm gonna go get my phone and we're gonna go look it up. Hang on one second, y'all. Good morning, Tramzilla. It is my new moon. It's a very busy one. We talked about it a little bit already, but the new moon is good for laying the groundwork for the rest of the year, basically. So at present, we've still got all of our major outer planets in majority in earth and water signs, so this is still really grounding. We have this happening, the new moon at 28 degrees of Capricorn, which is like the end of a cycle. So it's also the first new moon of the year, so it's a good time to like lay the groundwork for what you want out of 2026, because it's about to be firing off of all cylinders. You didn't intend to give me more work. It's okay. I don't mind. Let's see what I got. Let's see. Okay. So we're just gonna pull from the stuff that I have saved in my little chat on Instagram, just to make it easy. Astrology of 2026 is fire and air. Saturn and Neptune are leaving Pisces, Jupiter is leaving Cancer, and they will all go into fire signs. So we have our little handy dandy notes. We've got Saturn and Neptune going into Aries, Jupiter in July will be going into Leo for about 6 months. Uranus is going out of Taurus into Gemini. Pluto and Aquarius and Uranus and Gemini will, it says, bolster mental faculties, important than ever though, it will be more important than ever to ground your nervous system. So January and February, we've already had Chiron station direct. So now we can actually like work on healing our wounds and stuff. He'd been in retrograde, so now it's time to work on healing. All of these are moving into Aquarius in late January. It's giving you, quote, loud messages about what Pluto is doing in the Aquarius house of your birth chart. So, your Gemini rising like me, that's your 9th house. So that is philosophy, spirituality, travel, things like that. January 26th, so next week, we have Neptune going into Aries, and that will be leaving Pisces, he will be leaving Pisces for the last time in our life. Long time. Anything that you've been disillusioned about with Pisces, like we've talked about how it's hitting my 10th house, and I talked about how disillusioned I am with corporate jobs, right? Anything that you've been disillusioned about with Pisces, it's time to start taking those disillusions and putting them to like meaningful action. Now this is a 14-year cycle, so it might take some time, right? Because Neptune's been in Pisces since 2011, right? So you'll start getting the ball rolling early on, but it might, like it's a slow and steady kind of thing, but go, basically, right? On the 14th of February, so on good old Valentine's Day, Saturn is going into Aries. So that is when it's going to be at 0 degrees, which is going to be that huge, huge change. So it will be just behind. It won't be on the 14th specifically. I think it's on the 20-something. The 20th specifically, the 23rd. Saturn and Neptune are going to go conjunct, which is they are on top of each other. Saturn moves more quickly than Neptune does, so he will be slowly working on passing him. And when I say more quickly than Neptune, I mean a 3-year cycle versus a 14-year cycle, so it is slow going, but they will both be meeting at 0 degrees of Aries, and this is a lot. My favorite astrologer is calling it a schism. he is saying that basically there are people who will be moving onward and people that will basically be left behind, essentially. Now, that isn't to say that, again, it's the difference between a last chance versus a last call, right? A last chance, the train's about to depart, it's time to go, whatever. A last call is, you can't drink anymore at the bar after this, you have to go home and make it yourself, right? Once the conjunction is done with Saturn and Neptune here, it will go from last call to making it home, but you will also have to stop at the store to pick up the liquor before you can take it home to mix yourself, right? Like, it will be a lot harder to do things. This is a big pivot, so this is why, like, this new moon is timed really well for this big, like, revolution, like, upheaval, like, start over kind of vibe. So this is your last chance to plant the seed. This is the last call. Once this hits 0 degrees Aries, it's time to go. You will feel it all over your chart. This is pretty massive. We will feel it as a collective very strongly. You will feel it the most where 0 degrees Aries is in your chart. So, Sen, like, this isn't your 11th house. This is where Aries 0 degrees is. So it's probably in your 10th house too. I know it's in my 10th house, so again, right? I've been talking about how disillusioned I am with my career. It's time. It's time to make a change. And part of this, like, and this is part of why I'm, like, trying to let myself trust fall. I am extremely bad at trust falls. I hate not being in full control of a situation. But this, and the timing of this moon, and all of these lining up the way that they are this year is making me feel like maybe it's time to try, right? So, Neptune will be in here, still at the 0 degrees mark. Saturn will be coming in on the 14th of February. It's not quite time for them to go conjunct, but they will be getting close. You will be starting to feel it. It will be unavoidable, right? You're already feeling like they're 2 degrees apart right now, right? They're not tight conjunct. They're not at 0.0 degrees or whatever, but, like, you can already feel, like, the pressure of dreams versus reality, right? Like, illusions versus concrete facts, right? So once Saturn takes over, it's time to, like, do facts, it's time to do discipline, it's time to, like, execute the plan. While Neptune is still ahead, it's time to think of the plan, imagine what could be, have your visions, pay attention to your dreams. You might get information that way, right? But once Saturn overtakes it, it's time to get those thoughts into motion, right? On the 17th, we're coming up on eclipse season. I think it's in my 11th house. 0 degrees Aries is probably going to be, Aries is going to be your 11th house, but with the way that charts work, don't look at whole house, look at Placidus. And unless your Aries, or unless your 11th house is at 0 degrees Aries, it will be in your 10th house, just with the way that it works. If you want to, then we can, if you're feeling comfortable with it, just message me on the side in Discord with a link to your chart, and I can look at it for you. Like, the 0 degrees on a house cusp does happen, it's just really rare, right? So we're also, on top of all of this, coming up on eclipse season. I'll show you later to confirm, because I'm illiterate. Need to be kind to yourself is what you are. You are needing to be kind to yourself. So we're also coming up on eclipse season, and oh boy, the string of eclipses that we had on the Pisces and Virgo axis were when we were starting to become friends, and you remember that. Everything, fuel to the fire, just blowing up. Everything goes faster, really stressful, you're really tired, there's a lot of change happening. It's exhausting. Right. Now this time it's going to be on the Aquarius and Leo axis. So look at what houses those are for you. Leo is my 3rd house. And then, yeah, Aquarius is my 9th house. So that's where you will be feeling it the most. But, what does it say? It says, an eclipse on the Aquarius-Leo axis activates what the nodes will touch in late summer 2026. What have you been afraid to birth? This eclipse is the conception. So, again, just kind of tying into this little moon of like, get it going, get it rolling, let's go, it's go time. Here we go. It's the 20th that Saturn meets Neptune. So at the 0 degrees of Aries, Saturn is meeting Neptune on the 20th. Now, the last time that Saturn and Neptune went conjunct was in 1989. That was in Capricorn. There's a lot of big shifts happening then, like the fall of the Berlin Wall is the example that everyone's giving. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that have happened. So like this is the kind of like regimes fall or, you know, some kind of big change to that effect, right? But the last time it was in Aries was about 700 years ago, if I remember, 200 years ago. Sometime when there was a revolution. Another time that they went conjunct was during the plague. And then the last time it went to conjunct at 0 degrees Aries, we were switching from literally one type of like species lifestyle to another and going from hunter-gatherers to like agrarian farmers. Around this time there was also like we were starting to shift to the more patriarchal kind of governance, I guess. So like there's evidence in archaeology of there being like a big bottleneck in the Y DNA, in the Y DNA of humankind, right? Like because all of the men were just starting to take over, or all of the males, I guess. All the males were starting to take over and they were starting to fight and they were killing each other. So like a huge like genetic bottleneck right then in just the Y chromosome. So the difference with this one though is that it is, yes, it is big, it is scary, there's a big shift up and coming sometime around this window. But the big difference is that all of the outer planets, and I've talked about it before, all of the outer planets are playing a little more nicely this time. Pluto will be in Aquarius, it will be playing well, it's going to be sextile, I think, with Saturn and Neptune, so sextile means that they're, what is it that I said? It takes initiative, but you can get it to work. It will be pretty much sextile with Uranus. Not quite, but it'll be okay. Might be in a bit of a tizzy with Jupiter for a minute, but that should be fine, especially once it gets over to Leo. So there's a big shift ultimately again for the positive, but the problem that I have is I don't know when soon is to the universe relative to when soon is to me. So a lot of people are like really worried, especially since 2026 Uranus goes into Gemini. This is the Uranus return for the United States, and we know what's happening over there, right? So, this is Patreon Astro. I want to give credit, but it says, globally, this alignment resets matters concerning governance, finance, and global world order. Don't be afraid. Personally, though, when Saturn and Neptune meet at the Aries point, you are gifted a reset. So wherever this point is, you are allowed to reset. And again, this is part of why I'm willing to take this trust fall right now. I'm allowed to try. I am getting the chance to hit a reset. I am getting the chance to actually do what I've known for most of my life that I've already I've already known. I'm getting a chance to do it. What I want to do. A chance to do over. Change irrevocably, you cannot go back, only forward, resistance is futile, etc. So, and she's putting it this way too, of like, Aries is Mars dominant, so Saturn and Neptune get to respond to Aries. Now Neptune and Aries, it's not ideal, but Saturn in Aries, also not technically ideal, but Saturn in Neptune, or Saturn in Pisces is awful. Hi, Mary. We're talking about stars. So, that is the big shift happening around then. I'm also, like, when I'm not just walking through stars, I'm working on this painting. It's gonna be my little opening picture for when I'm doing things to go with Miss Mace. It's got up here, it says the coffee's brewed. Just gonna say hi. That's fine. Have fun. Good luck with everything. Nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by. March and April. We still good, Sin? Any questions? So with these shifts into Aries, I talked about it a little bit. We're ending cycles from Neptune that just started in 2011. And then we're ending Saturn cycles that started in like 2023. So far it sounds intense. Yes. Now, it may hit certain charts harder than others, right? Just depending on how things line up. Like, it might be a bit for you since I know yours. No, maybe not. I don't know. It depends on how, like, the planets and stuff that you have in Aries. Like, we're all gonna feel it. It's all gonna be pretty intense. But some placements might be hit harder than others. It all depends on how things line up. Now, yes. So very intense. Don't be scared. It might get scary for a minute though. But like, try to hang on. Basically, maybe. Don't doom scroll. I know you're the real deal. Okay. We have March and April. We've got an eclipse on the Virgo and Pisces axis to wrap up the North Node in the Pisces. So this will be March 3rd. It'll be the end of our struggle. Mars and Aries. Yeah, Mars will be in Aries later. That's in... Mars just rules Aries. So we have all of these little planets here. That's part of what's spooky about this year too. As we have all of these little planets here. All of these little personal planets that like take about more or less a year and a half to get around. Eventually they'll start separating up again. But not before May, when we're gonna have all of these planets, more or less, in Aries all at the same time with Saturn and Neptune. That is the beginning of May, somewhere in that window. And let me see. April, Aries, enters Aries. Anyway, there's a stellium that's happening in Aries, and that's what everybody is worried about. Mars will be there. I think Venus is going to be there. I wonder if I can pull up when that stellium's going to happen. But basically that's the time that all of us are like, oh boy, oh dear, as far as this year for intent, because Mars is obviously war, right? Like Mars is war dominant, but also you look at it from like a maybe that he's home, maybe that'll help temper him down a little bit, maybe, I don't know, drive and ambition, maybe you'll just feel gung-ho about trying to go do something, right? Transit chart. Let me see if I can find where the okay. So we're in February here, right? We have this is around the window, so this is April-ish, that April into May that people are worried about. Let me see if I can. That's not gonna show you super great, but all of this. Yeah, and again, it just depends on like what you have where, but as a collective, like everybody is a little bit worried about just like what's about to happen globally. But basically, what you want to do is just, so this is the part that everybody's like kind of worried about. So that is Neptune, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Chiron, and the Sun, all in Aries all at the same time. And that's a lot of fire. And this is the 18th of April. And that's a lot of fire. And that's a lot of the god of war. And there's already a lot going on anyway. And people are just kind of worried about that setting off something. But telling you is to not make you afraid. Telling you is to get you ready, right? So like, do what you can to have your ducks aligned. Ducks in a row, I guess. Do what you can to take care of you and yours. Get ready. Maybe it won't be that bad, right? But just in case, just kind of have a plan for like April-ish. Because yeah, all of these are eventually going to work their way all the way over here into Aries. And it's going to be, it can be a bumpy ride, but also it can give you the drive to work on whatever those goals are that you set for the new moon. So, March 3rd, an eclipse on the Virgo Pisces axis. Eventually, I don't have the nodes on here, but right now the north nodes are, oh no, I do. And you have the north node up here, he's going into Aquarius. And then the south node here is going into Leo. It'll take another couple of months, but it should be fine. South node in Leo. And Aquarius. So basically, just kind of tears up things. Most things tend to tear up things, but South node indicates what you're supposed to like be expelling. North node is what you're striving for. I don't know quite what the North Node's been doing to you with your Sun in Pisces Sun, but I know with my Sun in Virgo, it has just been tearing me up. I will be glad to see it gone. But this will be the last eclipse. Kind of identifying what's left for you to purge while they're still here. On March 7th and 8th, Venus crosses Neptune and Saturn. So Venus, our little girl here, will be with Saturn and Neptune. They'll still be fairly close to conjunct, if not conjunct. Just kind of be careful, right? It says all that glitters is not gold. On March 11th, Jupiter goes direct, finally. Start working towards going into Leo, which will be in July. March 20th, the Sun enters Aries, spring equinox. For y'all, it will be the fall equinox for me, but that's fine. It's all the same. Set intentions that set your soul on fire. But I would just say keep working on what you want. On April 18th, the Sun meets Chiron. On April 26th, Uranus leaves Taurus and goes into Gemini. Now, on a global scale, we can be careful for the foreboding or the incoming recession. Maybe, because Taurus is ruled by Venus, so that's wealth and abundance and luxury and stuff like that. And Uranus has a bad habit of tearing up things before he leaves. But he's happy in Gemini, so I'm hoping that it will be okay. And he's been in detriment in Taurus, because obviously stubbornness versus wanting to go forward, they don't play together super well. So on the 26th, Uranus re-enters Gemini. Gemini's about to start picking up momentum. This means that change isn't it says, quote, change isn't optional and the Gemini part of your chart is inevitable. So that's mine in your first house. So for the next year, or next 7 years, excuse me, I don't know. I'm fully expecting to be next to not recognizable in 7 years. Not in a bad way, right? But in a complete overhaul. If Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury with technology, they're calling for big like tech breakthroughs, big communication breakthroughs, big, you know, like for better or for worse. It can be both, right? Or it can be worse before it gets better. But just big upheavals in the Gemini portion of things. Oh wow, yeah. So 7 years, big overhaul, personal. For us, I know that, yeah, so first house is you, second house is your finances and your like wealth that belongs to you, third house is your communication style, fourth house is family and like the deepest parts of you and ancestry and such, because it will be at the bottom of your chart. So fourth house is like you and where you come from and things like that. The fifth house is what you create. That can be art, it can be expression, it can be children. The sixth house is your health and your well-being, and it can symbolize some stuff about your work too. Seventh house is opposite the first house, right? So the seventh house is the outside, right? So it is, how do I say it, like relationships and partnerships and such. The eighth house is shared finances and inheritance and what else? Intimacy and like the shadow side of you. So if the second house is your wealth and your finances and stuff, eighth house will be the outside opposite, right? So like shared finances, it'll be intimacy, it'll be like your relationships with others. If the second house is kind of your relationship with yourself. Yeah, so it's like the opposite, right? After the 1 through 6 houses are like internal, 7 through 12 are like external facing, right? So then the 8th house, opposite the 2nd house, shared finances, resources, intimacy, things that you do with other people, right? 9th house is the opposite of the 3rd house. So if the 3rd house is your communication style, 9th house is like philosophy and travel and getting out of your little bubble and doing things and experiencing the world. If the 3rd house is like how do I say, it makes sense in my head how they're opposites, but yeah, it's like your communication style, it's your way that you word the world, and then the 9th house is how you experience it. 10th house is the opposite of the 4th house. The 4th house is your home, 10th house is your career, the 4th house is your deepest part of you, the 10th house is what people see that you achieve, right? 5th house is what you create. The 11th house is like the communities that you create and interact with, right? Personal creation versus communal creation. The 6th house is yourself and your health and things like that. The 12th house is Pisces dominant. This one's a little bit of an oddball to me that I haven't still quite figured out just yet, but like, if Pisces is the 12th house, think about Neptune. Neptune is illusions, fog, the deepest parts of you, things like that. Right? So that is what you hide from others. 6th house is what you give others. Maybe the 12th house is what you hide from others. It's like illusions and stuff. So wherever Gemini is in your chart, with Uranus coming through over the next 7 years, what is that, 2032, I think they say? It's going to be a lot. And personally, as someone who has been really jonesing for a big change, never mind all of the changes that I've already gone through, but like I've been really jonesing for something big, right? I'm kind of excited for it, but I do also understand that it is daunting. Okay, May 6th, Pluto retrograde starts. That'll take a while. June 19th, Chiron is going into Taurus. Out of Aries. Sounds far ahead, but it's not. It really isn't. Like, relative to like a lifetime, no, it's not. Like a year is simultaneously a long time and none at all, right? So Chiron is going into Taurus out of Aries in, where is this, June 19th? And it says, Chiron comes to repair and heal. Whatever Uranus ruptured and burst open, Chiron is here to help you bandage it back up. Uranus, again, tears everything down, blows it all up, so Uranus leaves fertile ground open for Chiron. Sow seeds for abundance and health. Consider where you feel stuck in life. Chiron can help you get unstuck, but it may hurt a little bit at first. On June 30th, this is June 30th. Jupiter is going into Leo. Wait. Yeah. It will be squaring Pluto. What's that happening? Squaring or opposite? It's gonna be opposite Pluto. I think she mistyped. Right. It's gonna be opposite Pluto. So she says, expect something to happen in your Cancer house around the 30th of June. It goes into Leo. You feel the Pluto opposition, I think. Asks, where are you too proud or too stubborn to change? Bend before you break. Guard against flaunting wealth or blowing your own trumpet. Is there something you're afraid to do because of how it might be received? Do it anyway. Do it scared. July and August on the 4th. Oh boy, this is another thing. So American culture bleeds. We all know about it, like July 4th, 4th of July, Independence Day, right? Uranus will be in Gemini. Will be in here. Hello. But then so will Mars. And this is the 4th of July. This is the United States' 250th birthday. And Uranus will be at home, where he is a revolutionary, notoriously. Plus Mars, with his hot-headedness. This is one of the things that I'm a little bit nervous about. Like, I'll be full disclosure, right? This is part of what is worrying me about 2026. It says can get into a war of words with an open enemy, and it can cut off from allies, which it's already been doing, right? So like, I don't know. Collectively, that's kind of spooky. But on a personal point, innovation plus determination, that's cool, right? So yeah, on August 12th, we have a solar eclipse in Leo. So we're starting to have our eclipses on the Leo and Aquarius axis. And our nodes will be on the Leo and Aquarius axis. And the solar eclipse will show you what you are supposed to blow up positively in the Leo part of your birth chart. Yeah, it does sound spooky. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not there, but I'm worried about everybody that isn't here with me. Like I already am, but it's not great. It doesn't feel good. But anyway, in August, a solar eclipse in Leo gives you a preview of what destiny wants to eclipse in the Leo part of your birth chart. So like, what does it want to enhance? What does it want to speed up? What does it want to do faster? Right? So in a way that it doesn't feel out of nowhere. Yeah, it's way too lined up. right? Like, this is part of, like, I don't see astrology as a religion. I see it kind of as like a roadmap, and like you can deviate, you can find alternate paths and stuff, and maybe you're interpreting things one way and it's actually working out like where you would use the same words but it works differently, right? But just that happening on the 4th of July when everything is already going sideways anywhere, it's a lot. But again, we have all of the outer planets playing nicely together, right? So it could be that, yes, there's a revolution, but it's not negative, right? Maybe it just helps people get their stuff together, basically, right? Like, it could go either way. And it could also just be that things get worse before they get better. I don't know. But just that lineup, partially, me learning about it was part of what made me go, oh, good lord, right? So the solar eclipse in Leo on the 12th shows you what you need to do in the Leo part of your house. Leo is my 3rd house, so that's communication. I want to be a writer. I work in the writing field as it is, right? So like, I'm like, okay, cool. That's pretty positive. But yeah, find the Leo part of your house. You know, start hitting the eclipse seasons on this axis. It will help you get where you're getting, I guess, with those parts of your chart. The North Node goes into Aquarius on August 19th. Changes will get intensified in the Aquarius sector of your chart. And then with the North Node in Aquarius, again, Aquarius is much more collective than individualistic, right? So Leo is still kind of Leo is the main character, right? Leo is much more individual. So if the South Node is down here and the North Node is up here, so the South Node is what you need to be working on, like letting go of the parts that don't serve you, and the North Node is what you need to be striving for. So you need to work on the collective mindset, you need to work on like how we can benefit each other, how we can support each other and stuff like that. Less I, me, mine, and more we, us, are, right? Not in a Borg kind of way. Like, we're not gonna go resistance is futile, but like, you know, there's a lot of places going on, like a lot of things going on right now where it would be helpful to like be able to and know how to support people. So that's kind of what this axis shift is going to do. Yep, so we have our last, what was it? One second, I'm trying to read back a little bit, typing in. Okay, we got an eclipse on the Virgo Pisces axis on March 3rd. And then on the 28th, there's one more lunar eclipse on the Pisces Virgo axis. They're calling it a, quote, swan song, unquote, for the North Node. You'll get a bit more clarity about things. September and October. Autumn equinox on the 23rd. Or the spring equinox for me on the 10th. Let's see, this is September 10th. Venus will go into Scorpio. On the 3rd of October, she will go retrograde for a few weeks. She, like the moon, isn't particularly happy in Scorpio, so she has to work harder. You will have some kind of, especially with this retrograde, there may be some kind of tests or some kind of challenges. Nothing that you can't overcome, but you might hit some difficulties. Things could be coming out to the forefront, like secrets or anything like that. She is Pluto driven, Venus is Aphrodite, Pluto is Hades, so we just say that she's going to her husband, right? Like, they're just kind of hanging out. And I would think, right, like, yes, that's her detriment, but like, if we're leaning into the myths, right, you get to go see your husband, that doesn't feel too bad. It can just be intense. I don't know. But for her to see Pluto, she has to, in the stories, go to hell and back, right? Like, you have to consider that as a weight. All right, so Venus is going to go through here, retrograde, and then go forward again. But this is all happening in the sign of Scorpio, so it can get a little bit messy. November and December. Mars is going to start going into the shadow for his retrograde on the 5th. And that will be in Leo and Virgo, down here. On the 14th, so here we go. So this is 14. Oh, this is 10. This is 14, 11. It will go direct. So we have this retrograde period to worry about. She will go direct on November 11th. Oh, 11/11, right? No. 11/14. I knew that. She goes direct back down in Libra, right? So she will retrograde back into Libra, but then she has to go all the way through Scorpio again. She will enter Scorpio again on December 4th. So be careful. You might have impulsivity issues. Again, consider what she rules, which is like relationships and abundance. So be careful with your relationships. Watch what you say, what you do with your loved ones and people around you, and then don't overspend, right? Be careful not to overextend yourself fiscally. She goes into Sagittarius in January. On the 31st, these notes say that she will be squaring the nodes. Venus, right? So Venus will be square. So this will be making a T-square. Oof. So that means that she will be the crux, the balance between the north and the south nodes, but that means it will be a bit of a challenge. Another turning point. We're still in this this new moon is really setting up the rest of the year of break off of the timeline that doesn't work for you and let go of everything else that has not been supporting that timeline, basically, right? This is another point. This is another chance for you to just be like, okay, I'm done. If you don't catch that first train off with the Aries or the Neptune Saturn conjunction, this is another I've gone home, I can mix my own drink. I went to the liquor store, I brought my liquor home. I can make my own drink. If you need to get off still, that's a good point. So, there are a lot more things going on throughout, but that's just kind of the high level that was really easy for me to find that I had pulled up. It's a lot. 2026 is a lot. It can be really good. For some people, it will be excellent. And for other people, it will be very, very hard. And that's a really cheesy way to oh, it could be good or bad, right? Yeah, everything can be good, but it will be extreme either way, right? I know that different signs have different potentials for things to work out. We can talk about that more next time, right? Pisces was... But basically, you were the most... With everything getting off of you, you should be feeling better. I know that Gemini was the most likely to have really chaotic, explosive growth that might be really stressful at points, right? But not for the worst. With Uranus playing in Gemini, it sounds like a bit of a trickster god era, right? It sounds like it'll be a lot of fun, if I'm being honest, but you're gonna have bumps in the road, but you're gonna be likely to be fine, right? Scorpio rising, and I remember this one because just of people in my life, right? But Scorpio rising was the most likely to have their business blow up, and then it was Virgo rising was like relationships are gonna start kind of getting cleaned up and stuff, and Capricorn rising was the most likely to start a deeper relationship. Yeah. So, you know, so it's not all bad, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. That is what 2026 is, and it's not going to relent for a few years, basically, with all of the outer signs being in water and fire. But I don't control what you can control, right? And then just kind of work with the rest as you need to. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. No, it's fine. I don't mind at all. I've been needing to talk about it more anyway. And I'm sure as we get to things, because like I know that next week is when Neptune goes into Aries, right? So I'm sure next week we'll be talking about it more again too. And I can just keep beating these lessons into people's heads as we get there. But no, the high level overview, I've been needing to do that anyway. I meant to do something back a couple of weeks ago. Like write something up, but well, not that the Discord got up, but I just haven't done it yet. So thank you for asking. No, it was good. So it's a lot. That's my summary for 2026 is go get 'em, Tiger, but it's going to be a lot. So. Oh. Big changes. We thought that 2025 was bad. Was the test run. So there will be light, it will be fine. It's just a lot to get through. But one of my other astrologers like 40 or 50 years, things will be so much calmer, so much better, so much more improved. And I know that's a long time to wait, but it gives me something to look forward to in these here, quote, unprecedented times, right? Like, cool, I'm still around for that, so. Just after Pluto's done with Aquarius and moving on and figuring out everything, and all of these changes have been managed and but there's something certainly about the old ways being rendered meaningless, more or less, so something they say that your soul has chosen to be alive during this time. I don't think so. I'm that's what all of my things say on my chart, but like I disagree. But I might just be tired already. But I know they've been talking about this is about the time for folks with their prominent Aquarius placements to kind of start standing up. So right now it's like the window for the Saturn and Aquarius types and stuff, with Pluto being in there and impacting our charts and stuff. I don't think so either. But I had my chart read, and with that mess that my moon is, right? Like he was saying that it was like, oh, basically it's not just that you're taking on your immediate ancestral curses and such that all of you, the family that you know, has had to go through. No, you have taken on all of your ancestry's hangups and issues and problems, and you have said, you know what, let me take care of it. And I said, boy howdy, my soul is a fool. It was, yeah, so. But however it shapes up, it'll be okay. It has no choice to be. That's been what I've kind of been telling myself too, is like, however it shapes up, it'll work out. I'll be fine. I always am. And that's kind of really been what I've been trying to stick with. It's like just reminding myself that I've made it here. Your soul felt ambitious for a moment. Yeah. Yep. My soul felt ambitious for a moment, and now I am tired as a result. I'm so tired. Ah! Yeah, we'll see how that goes with all of the doing for everybody. And like, he literally made it sound like, one, it's your job to break through all of these curses, but also like, you have to stop overextending yourself. And I wonder if that's part of the curse that has to be broken, right? Of like overextending, because I have a long past of giving more than I receive in return. And I've been really like trying to like teach myself the lesson of, you know, relationships are a two-way street, and I can't just keep giving and giving and giving and not getting anything back. And I feel like that's honestly part of what I had to have learned, and what maybe I'm trying to teach the rest of everybody else too, of like, yes, it is good to give. It is good to help take care of people, but you cannot, you know, give until there's nothing left. And so I laughed and I said, it's giving tree. That's what that part of my chart feels like, of like learning how to not be such, like learning how to still help and to still provide and not crush myself in the process. Right? Because like my family has a really bad habit of overextending themselves and trying to help too much. So it would, at least to me, make sense that that's part of why I'm here, is to like teach them how to like help but not destroy themselves in the process. And it is hard sometimes. Yeah, and like it would be one thing if I remembered making this contract, right? Like if I said, hey, if I could like, I don't know, everything points to me being some kind of psychic on the chart, but I'm like, I don't know. If I do experience any kind of like that, it is through intellect and rationality and the occasional dream only, right? So like if I could remember, like if I could like astrally project into the past when I signed up for this, or like the future, or however time works, like it doesn't exist, right? Like if I could transcend the plane and like re-experience me saying, hey, let me take this load off of everybody's shoulder, I might feel better about it, right? But now I'm just like blindly struggling and blindly carrying everybody's problems, and I don't get to find out like the benefits of it until way later, and I'm kind of mad about it. It'd be really cool if I did that. Yeah, it would be cool to help. I love helping. Great. Now, ooh, no, I didn't want to help this hard. Or I did? I don't know if I want to. Is this really what I want to do? Can I change my answer? No, not really. A little bit. But yeah, it's a lot. And like I've already seen, like, I'm not really a black sheep in the family, but I am a black sheep in the family, right? Like I definitely, relative to everybody else, kind of go to the beat of my own drum. And my family still loves me. We have a fine relationship and everything, but like I definitely kind of do things my own way. And they all really admire me for it. So like I can see how like whatever that soul's decision was, I can see how it's impacted already a little bit, right? And I can see that, you know, just standing up for myself and letting myself be my own person rather than like just enmeshed with everybody else. Me coming to teach my family that kind of thing does make sense, like just based off of what I've done and how I've gotten where. But it sucks. Not a fan. I'm happy that I've gotten to where I am, but I'm ready for a nap. That's what I am. Like, it's something that I am simultaneously proud of and also Do you think I need to draw tiles on the back of the wall? How insane do I need to get? Like tiles. It'd be little blue and yellow tiles. It could be really cute. Yeah, definitely. And I don't know, I always, or at least when I was at my worst, right, I'd get really frustrated because all of the big popular media is like, oh, go by the beat of your own drum and it all works out and da-da-da-da-da and you'll be successful and you'll get recognized and lucky breaks and da-da-da, and it's just not really, like, maybe that's how it works for some people. And I am allowed to be lucky. Like, if I had a lucky break, that'd be rad. But that's just not how it always works out. And it gets really frustrating to see, like, oh, if you just get to be quirky and fun and really do what you want to do, and there's no way you can lose. And, you know, you just kind of grow up with that kind of messaging. And it's like, I need people to recognize that, sure, maybe it does, but it sucks for a while while you're getting there. You did all go last time, so is that a yes, do the tiles, or spare yourself? You interpret this as your own cryptic. Okay. Okay. That's fine, I guess. What's up? Need what?
We need the move. Do they need to start right now?
Oh, they can.
I don't know how.
That's fine. I can do it. Just a second, dude.
Okay. The colors in there are looking so good and deep.
Yeah, thanks. Okie doke. What do we got? What do you want?
Not the French one.
Not the French
We should start with
One second, we're looking at stuff. But I am here.
Oh yeah, we're still here.
What do you need?
Sir.
Blank, huh? 36 gigs? No.
No?
No.
Okay, well, it said that we're at the end of the list. So what am I looking for?
Oh.
I found one.
You're looking for something. I promise I'm still here. A hero beginning. Also, Sin, I didn't tell you, there's kitten pictures waiting for you on Discord if you are so inclined. Growing up with media. Yeah. There's definitely a disjoint there. There's a Discord and also like media always saying like, if you take the chance, you will always be rewarded. That was always a really hard thing for me to swallow too. Like something, how it affects with luckiness and stuff. You didn't know you missed it? Well, yeah, there's kitten pictures. Oh, there's beginning. Okay. Then we don't need it. I'm just making sure. Episode 1. Beginnings. What's number 2 called?
Is this there? Maybe.
Don't. Okay.
I wasn't trying to take you away from stream. I thought you could just like.
No, you're fine. I just saw the 32 gigs for one movie, and that was insane. Talking about nefarious deeds, so don't listen too hard. Yeah, I know, right? So we're looking for a movie, and the download for one movie on this one thing was 32 gigabytes, and I'm just like, absolutely not, under no circumstances. That thing, the whole film is a vector. I don't need that much. Thank you. What is it there? The whole you're guessing. So it's an anime that is based off, or a movie that is based off of an anime. So I'm like, I don't know what is in there. It is one, the highest resolution. Maybe it is a resolution that just has not yet been witnessed before by mankind, honestly. And maybe it has all 3 movies and the series and the whole storyboard? I don't know, man. It was insane. And she was like, do we need to start loading it now? Or I was like, well, we're not. It would be done. Yes, it would be done soon-ish, even at that size, but I've been inclined to make the joke of we should have started last week. I mean, honestly, at 32 gigs, I'm wondering if it's just like a whole library of like every anime that has ever existed. Anyway. The whole trilogy, exactly. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. It's gotta have something. It's gotta have something. Maybe we have like some kind of Da Vinci Code thing going on in there. I don't know. I don't know, man. There's so much. But it's an older movie, so that was the only link that was showing the said nefarious deed for that one in particular. Oh. Alright, my dears, we are at 1 o'clock my time. It has been 3 hours. We have people coming over in 1. So I'm going to, I wanted to stay until people started coming and work on this, but I'm gonna go make sure that the movies and stuff will load. So I'm gonna cut it here. If it's just the 2 of you, you can holler if you need me. I'm around. Otherwise, I will talk to everybody else later. Behave yourselves. Big moon. Enjoy the manifestation. Let me know how it goes. A neatly packed Trojan horse. If it's 32 gigs, I don't think that it's that neatly packed. Let's be real. So, yeah. I will let y'all go, and I will holler at all of you later. Let me know if you need me, and I will catch you on Discord and or on the flip side. Rest well and see you later. You do the same. Stay warm. I'll talk to you later.